Through this, I can already make out bubbles. This spot is absolutely rotten. Additionally, we have rusting gas lines. We have even more decay here. I'm so sorry. For some reason, water manages to find its way down this A-post where it can eventually settle and rot the inside. As a co-host on the hit TV show Car SOS, Fuzz Townshend is famous for secretly giving old cars a second chance to deserving owners. But there's a lot more to Fuzz than what's on TV. He is well known for his role as the amiable handyman, a man with a unique talent, a passion for music, and a fascinating history lurks behind the toolbox. To fill in the gaps in your knowledge about Fuzz Townshend, we invite you to join us. Jaguar cars had a significant influence on his work when he was born in the early to mid 1940s. They put his designs into real automobiles from 1948 to 1992. It was a high-quality, long-lasting piece of machinery. Of all the vehicles powered by the Jaguar XK engine, the ETB was among the most recognizable. Born to a single mother, Fuzz Townshend spent his formative years in Birmingham, England. While he was a kid, his favorite things were cars and music. Even as a child, he showed an interest in the physical sciences. In his teenage years, he would often find himself collecting old bike parts and repairing his friends' mopeds, sometimes for no other reason than to get them going again. Fuzz improved his automotive repair skills despite a lack of formal training. The key to his success was taking charge and working tirelessly. He frequently refers to himself as a backstreet bodger, which implies that he acquired the skill of tool repair through trial and error rather than formal instruction. As a means of providing for his mother, Fuzz held down a number of odd jobs. Among them was a stint as a bus yard trainee mechanic. Thanks to his time there, he honed his skills and became the expert on Car SOS that we see today. Before he got into cars, Fuzz had a full-time job in the music industry, but not many people know that. Like his talent for cars, Fuzz had an innate talent for music. However, he required encouragement to actually accomplish it. It worked out well for him because his mom was there to encourage him. At the age of 10, Fuzz's mom won a Vauxhall Chevette in a contest held by a national newspaper. She opted for the cash prize over the vehicle and utilized a portion of it to acquire a drum set for Fuzz. He owes his lifelong devotion to music to that one act. He enlisted the aid of a local jazz musician to begin his drumming education. Fuzz began performing on stage and playing in school bands before he turned 12. It was then that he realized he wanted to turn his passion for music into a career. Let us go to 1991. Pop Will Eat Itself noticed Fuzz playing drums in a few other local bands, and that was Fuzz's big break. The band was looking for a real drummer and was sick of using electronic beats. They worked with Fuzz on 1992's The Looks or the Lifestyle album because he fulfilled all of their needs. He breathed fresh life into the band by playing live drums. For nearly 5 years, he was a touring and recording member of the band. In the years following his departure from Pop Will Eat Itself, Fuzz collaborated with numerous renowned bands. At first, he was a member of the British ska group The Beat. Bentley Rhythm Ace, an electronic rock band, eventually recruited him. A member of the alternative rock band The Wonder Stuff from 201-02-014, he also played drums for the group. As a result of his musical education, he developed his artistic abilities. In 1996, Fuzz began creating music independently. Following the release of his debut single, Hello Darlin', he inked a contract with Echo Records. Foreign, his debut album, was released in 1999 and demonstrated the numerous artists that had an impact on him. The following year, in 2002, he dropped Fuzz Townshend, his second studio album. After becoming famous in the music industry, Fuzz switched careers in 2004 and started teaching college part-time. He helped students grasp the theoretical and practical aspects of music Through his college-level classes in performance and music technology, he imparted wisdom gained from his extensive experience as a drummer and artist. Pop Will Eat Itself, his former band, decided to reunite at about the same time. His position as a lecturer remained unchanged, though he was delighted to participate in it once more when the opportunity presented itself. It was within his capabilities to excel in both of his occupations. Early on in his career, Fuzz proved he was more than simply a drummer. He was a multi-talented artist. He continued to be deeply passionate about music and sound even after entering the media industry. When you're a singer, you might have to compose your own music. Fuzz's inventive mind is precisely what landed him a job as a car writer. He got his start as a reporter for the popular automotive magazine Practical Classics. He started out as an entry-level writer and eventually became a technical editor, a position he maintained until March 2011. In his role as editor, he provided advice to readers on how to fix and restore classic cars. However, Fuzz decided to strike out on his own after a few years and left the magazine. His company, Westgate Classics, revives vintage automobiles through restoration. For him, this was a watershed moment on the road to opening his own shop and making a living repairing and restoring automobiles. Classic Friendly Network was Fuzz's new venture that he launched in 2014. This was a network of UK-based garages that were well-versed in restoring vintage vehicles, particularly those exempt from emissions testing. Having your classic car serviced and inspected regularly will keep it in top condition. Fuzz intended to launch a specialized inspection service for vehicles sold at sales by the same company in an effort to boost the self-esteem of car owners. However, in April of 2018, he departed from Classic Friendly Network. However, Fuzz was prepared for the subsequent stage by mid-2016. After departing from Westgate Classics, his subsequent assignment was to establish Utah Classics Limited in Oldbury, West Midlands. To reflect his role on the TV program Car SOS, the company rebranded in 2018 as SOS Workshop. Now we have a situation where the head gasket has been removed, allowing hot exhaust gases to enter the coolant, which in turn leaks into this particular cylinder. Our white furring is a result of the steam it produces. Because the coolant is overheating, the engine is overheating and slowing down. They could have attempted to increase its power by fueling it more, but it would have failed miserably. Many people enjoy watching Fuzz and Tim perform on television, but fewer are aware of the unusual circumstances surrounding Fuzz casting. The production company would typically contact the TV hosts who applied for available positions, but that wasn't how Fuzz worked. He had no intention of becoming a host. The role simply fell into his lap. In 2011, Renegade Pictures, a local production company, was casting for a new car restoration show on the National Geographic Channel. Fortunately for Fuzz, the company was aware of his exceptional skills in troubleshooting. He was approached by the crew, who invited him to audition for a role in the show. Keep in mind that the organization was interested in more than just his abilities. They also desired his place of employment. At the time, Fuzz oversaw Westgate Classics, and he would have been a perfect fit for the show's workshop. The test didn't require Fuzz to travel far. The production crew showed up at his garage and set up cameras where he did most of his work. They filmed him talking about cars and working on engines because it was easy for him. Throughout the scene, his innate charisma and empathy were on full display. He wasn't aiming to be a TV star, but he was later paired with host Tim Shaw anyhow. It was a successful test run. Car SOS had its humble beginnings in Fuzz's workshop in 2013. His journey to fame as a television personality began with that incident. The media and the automotive industry have made Fuzz a household name, but few are aware that he goes by a stage name. He goes by the name John Richard Keith in truth. People are curious about the origin of the nickname Fuzz, since it is seldom mentioned in interviews or public events. In a recent interview, Fuzz revealed that the name has been around since he was a little boy. When he was a little boy, he had thick, fuzzy hair, and no one else in his town had it. Because it was so distinctive, his friends started calling him Fuzz.